Welcome into another edition of the Lions Game Plan. The Lions finally back after their bye week, refreshed, ready to go. I'm Jacob Seuss, once again joined by Mike Payton from A to Z Sports. Lions back home to take on the Minnesota Vikings at Ford Field on Sunday afternoon. But Mike, before we get into this Sunday's game, massive news for the Lions, for Lions fans. Breaking early on Wednesday morning, a welcoming sign, Aiden Hutchinson signing a 4-year extension with the team. This is something that we've talked about before, was talked about in the offseason, at the beginning of the season when Jameson Williams signed his contract extension. They get it done in the middle of the year, which is rare. How exciting is this? How big a deal is this that Hutch is locked up through his age 30 season?
Oh, it's gigantic, because not only do you lock up Hutchinson, you get him for cheaper than Micah Parsons just got signed for by the Packers earlier in the year. So that's huge. That's just A-plus work from Brad Holmes. That's the kind of thing that's going to get him GM of the year for the third straight season. It's a huge part of their defense. It also sets the tone for some of these other bigger deals that they're going to be doing in just a couple of months, when they're able to get extensions for Jahmyr Gibbs, Jack Campbell, Brian Branch, Sam Laporta. Having this out of the way helps a lot.
So correct me if I'm wrong. So they have the option for Hutch next season. Does the contract extension go into play the year after that, or is it going to begin next season?
It's going to begin in 2027, but right. They may have done some sort of restructure. We really have to wait for the contract details to come out fully to just kind of be able to gauge exactly what is going to happen. I wouldn't be surprised if they kind of lowered that 2026 cap hit a little bit, but we'll see when that comes out, and that could be in the next day or two.
Brad Holmes has done such a tremendous job locking up the core, making sure that the Super Bowl window that's, opened up 2 years ago is still very open today and will still be very open for the foreseeable future, and especially locking up the faces of your franchise. I mean, what does Aiden Hutchinson mean to this team? A guy coming back from a gruesome leg injury and through, 8 weeks, leads the NFL in pressures, top 10 in sacks, right back where he was.
The Lions in the past have talked about having pillars, 4 pillars that'll kind of hold up the entire franchise. Penei Sewell's one of those guys, St. Brown's another, Jared Goff, and then Aiden Hutchinson's that 4th pillar. It's huge. This is one of the biggest guys on the team. He's going to be the team goes where Aiden Hutchinson goes. If he has a bad game, the defense probably has a bad game. If he has a good game, the defense probably has a good game. That's just the way it is. This is one of the best players in the league. To be able to lock him up with no drama, by the way, none at all. And you see it every year, especially with the Bengals, and the Cowboys had their stuff with Micah Parsons. The Lions just seem to have none of that. And I don't think Lions fans realize how good they have it when it comes to stuff like that.
And you mentioned Brad Holmes and the work that he's been able to do. I mean, you look at all the guys that he's had to lock up, will have to lock up, and you think he's probably not going to be able to keep all of them. And he's found a way to not only keep all these guys, but get extensions done with them, get them done at reasonable prices, and still have cap room to work with. Like you said, when you guys like Gibbs and Campbell and Laporta and Branch, who you're probably going to give out extensions to as well, how has Brad Holmes been able to do this, where he's able to give everybody, what they deserve?
It's all about gymnastics. It's taking advantage of the cap inflation, because that cap's going to go up every single year unless we get some sort of COVID-19 pandemic, which I hope we certainly do not ever do that again. But that cap's going to continue to go up every year. So what the Lions are able to do is have lower cap hits up front and have some of those bigger cap hits kind of go back, and they have void years in which they can move money into different pockets, and they're just playing it so well right now. And I got to push back on you a little bit, because I think they're going to wind up signing everybody. I think they're absolutely going to be able to do that. And if you look at the way Kirby Joseph and Jameson Williams deals are done, where the dead money is up front, so the cap hits are lower up front as well, they're going to be able to do it in 2026, 2025. Plus, they have a huge Jared Goff restructure that they can get done very soon. That's going to save them about $40 million in 2026. So I absolutely think they have a good chance to get everybody signed.
It's amazing. Holmes really is one of the best, but we do have a game to play on Sunday. This past Sunday was a little more boring than usual. Without the Lions, Minnesota Vikings coming to town, much different than the last time these two met at Ford Field. Lions still one of the top teams in the NFC, Vikings trending the other way. But on the Lions side, after a week to get a bit healthier, you're going to get Branch back from suspension. Who else might we see on Sunday who we haven't seen for the past few weeks?
Well, it's looking like Terrion Arnold is going to play. He's been back at practice. That's going to be a big one. Taylor Decker will practice next week. I know he played on Monday night, but he seems to be on the right track with getting better. Lions only practiced one day this week, had actual practice. Kirby Joseph wasn't at it, so we'll see where that goes in the rest of the week. If they can get him back, that's huge. Malcolm Rodriguez is back at practice. That's another big one, just to get another just strong linebacker back. So they're getting some guys, and good things are happening. And I know this won't happen until next week, but DJ Reed's been doing stuff with trainers on the sideline. Usually that's a very good sign that a guy's going to jump right back into things once he's cleared. So that's another one to just kind of keep an eye on for at least for week 10.
And then the storyline in this one for Michigan fans, especially J.J. McCarthy, coming back, his first game in Michigan since winning the national championship. You know, it's not 100% hasn't been announced, but it is all but announced that McCarthy is going to make his return on Sunday. You know, a guy that missed his entire rookie season with injury, played 2 games at the beginning of the year, had a good comeback in week 1, not a complete game for him, had a pretty bad game in week 2, and then hasn't played in the last 5 weeks with an ankle injury. I mean, to me, on paper, this seems like just a bad situation for McCarthy. Coming back, third NFL game, one of the most hostile environments in the NFL, one of the best defenses in the NFL, and man, you got to go out there and play in your third NFL game when you've missed the last 5 weeks.
Yeah, that's a tough one for sure. You're absolutely right. This is one of the best defenses in the league. Number 1 in DVOA, defensive DVOA. If you love the analytics stuff, this is the best defense in the league on that end. So yeah, this is going to be a very, very hard game for McCarthy. He's good, but he's got Justin Jefferson, he's got Jordan Addison, he's got some guys that can bail him out. I just wonder how much they're going to actually be on the field, because I just don't see this defense stopping the Lions much. So I think that McCarthy's going to have a tired offensive line in this one.
And, you know, for the Vikings to have any chance in this game, you, of course, have to get Jefferson going, which he's had a good year despite the quarterback carousel with McCarthy and Wentz. And, you know, you would think the Vikings have to get the run game going as well. But 26th in the NFL, Aaron Jones really hasn't had, you know, much going on this season. I mean, what's the threat from the Vikings offense, if you see any? Obviously, Jefferson, you know, is always someone you need to pay attention to.
Well, McCarthy has that mobility, and that's kind of the thing that the Lions have always kind of worried about. They did do very well against Baker Mayfield last week, and then Lamar Jackson earlier on in the season. So they've been able to kind of figure out how to stop some of those mobile quarterbacks a little bit better. But I do think there's something to the idea that you really haven't seen this guy. So right. He's kind of throwing out stuff that it's the unknown, and sometimes you can lose because of that. But when you got Justin Jefferson, man, I think you or I could probably win a game with Justin Jefferson. Like, that guy is just incredible.
And then on the other side, I mean, the Lions offense that seemed to be getting in a decent groove, had their moments in the Buccaneers game, but certainly had their off moments as well. What do you expect to see out of that group coming out of the bye week? Any changes that might expect to see? I know, you know, Jameson Williams, of course, has been a hot topic once again this week, you know, as the coaches try and get him more involved in the offense, at least, you know, in the targets, you know, to get more targets.
Yeah, there's that for starters, but I think the big thing the Lions really wanted to work on during their bye week was fixing the third down issues that they've been having, and they've been having quite a bit. It's down from 59% conversion rate to 46%. It's not great for the Lions at this point. It's not horrible either, but if they're able to fix that pretty fixable woe, we're talking about an offense that's, I mean, just unstoppable.
And then, you know, Dan Campbell this week at his weekly press conference, which I love about Dan. He's a straight shooter. He talked about how he showed the team coming out of the bye week, the state of the NFC. This is where every team is at this moment. got to focus in on winning the NFC North, and November is a month where teams are going to trend in one direction and you're going to start to see some separation. Do you see the Lions as one of those teams that could get the separation here? I mean, once again, for the second straight year, the NFC North probably will come down to, week 16, week 17. Just the only difference this year is it will be the Lions and the Packers, not the Lions and the Vikings.
I do. I think this is a really good time for the Lions. They've got a pretty manageable schedule coming up with the Vikings this week, Washington the week after that, and then the Eagles is going to present an issue for sure, but then you get the New York Giants on the other side of that. I think if you could walk out of this little stretch here, 4-1, 5-0, we're talking about a team that can win the NFC North. You just got to hope these Packers start losing a game or two.
And then, the hope right now is, of course, that the Lions beat the Packers on Thanksgiving at the end of this upcoming month, at least even up the season series. So, I mean, that makes games like this weekend against the Vikings, and then, you get the Bears for a second time. It makes these games that much more important because that tiebreaker, if they were to go head-to-head, is divisional record.
Yeah, you absolutely want to have the higher divisional record. That tie that the Packers have, that does kind of make things a little bit harder. So you have to make sure that they actually lose games rather than, continue to win them. Because even if you have a better, more wins at the end of the year than the Packers do, if they have that one less loss because of the tie, that's a tiebreaker that's going to hurt them. So they got to make sure that they do their business and hope that somebody else does theirs.
Yeah, absolutely. And going into Sunday, I mean, this is, again, a game that it's hard to not see the Lions taking care of business. I mean, any Kevin O'Connell coach team is going to present its challenges one way or another, but going up against a rookie quarterback, it is a lot of the same Vikings team last year that, had such a successful year. Maybe they should have thought a little harder about keeping Sam Darnold, but I have a hard time not believing the Lions aren't going to cover that 8.5-point spread on Sunday.
Yeah, I think that this is going to be I'm not going to say it's an easy game because I don't think there are any easy games in this league, but I do believe that the Lions are going to win this one. And I think ultimately the Vikings defense, having all their problems with injuries and a young quarterback who's only on his third NFL game, I think it's all going to come into play. And I've got the Lions winning 35-13.
That would make a lot of people happy. You got the Hutch extension. Hopefully a good win on Sunday to keep this thing rolling and the Lions move to 6-2. Mike, appreciate your time per usual, and we will catch up before Detroit hits the road once again after this Vikings game for a rematch against the Commanders.
See you then.